Buford, Georgia is a booming town here in North Georgia. There are so many people that are desperate to live in this town for many reasons, but there might be a few reasons you would want to avoid living here. So as an agent and team leader here in the North Georgia suburbs, my team and I specialize in helping families from all across the country relocate here. And I would say about 8 out of 10 times when people reach out saying that they're wanting to move here, they mention Buford. They talk about what it's a great place to live, and I so agree with this. It is such an awesome town. It's where our office is. It is very, very beautiful. So there is a tiny portion of Buford that is in Hall County, but majority of it lies in Gwinnett County. It also sits on the south end of Lake Lanier, which is a big part of the town's charm. You've got great shopping, great schools, and it has a great location. So why would I tell you that you wouldn't want to live here? The first and probably biggest reasons you might consider not living in Buford is the cost of homes. As I've mentioned in previous videos, Buford is expensive. Now, it's not as pricey as towns like Cumming or Alpharetta, but if you have a more reserved budget, you might find that Buford is a bit out of your price range. So the median sales price of homes in Buford in September of 2021 was just under $400,000. And prices will also fall on the higher side if you're seeking out Buford City School District. And that is why there is such a massive demand to be in Buford, is because of the school district. It is one of the highest rated school systems in the entire state. Now, if you're looking in that area, you're going to have to pay more than $400,000. And if you want to be on Lake Lanier in Buford, well, forget about it. Prices are crazy expensive. Depending upon where you're relocating from, you might think that the median sales price is not really all that high. Many clients are so pleased to find out how far their money stretches when they're here, when they come from more expensive states like California, Florida, or Texas. However, some people just automatically assume that since the median sales price of homes in Georgia is lower than the national average, that every part of the state will be more affordable. Depending upon your budget, that's just not the case. So another reason you may not choose to move to Buford is, well, you may not be able to find a home. Inventory is very limited in Buford because, like I mentioned earlier, demand is so high. So not only is demand high because of the craziness that is going on in the market, it's also just high because it's such a popular place for families to be because of the school system. So at the time of filming this video, there are currently 133 homes for sale in Buford as a whole. But that school system, if you look at houses that are available for sale in Buford City Schools right now as of filming this video, well, you're only down to 30 homes. And if you take that and you factor out that some of those listings are really just parcels of land and that you're waiting to build houses on, some of those houses aren't even big enough, or they may even be too big. It's slim pickings. You will notice a lot of new construction coming to Buford because developers want to capitalize on the demand for the area. Obviously, who wouldn't want to take advantage of that? So this leads me to my next reason of why you may want to not move to Buford. And it's because this area is constantly growing and changing. There are so many new construction neighborhoods, new stores, shopping complexes, restaurants popping up all the time everywhere. Buford recently even got a Sprouts grocery store and a Topgolf, which is an indoor golfing experience that's hugely popular. And of course, that is already next to the hugely popular Mall of Georgia area. And there's also 15 car dealerships nearby, and a Costco, and every other store and strip mall that you can think of. So if you're not on board with a lot of growth or changes, or if you want to be in a more rural area, Buford is not going to be the place for you. Luckily enough, though, there are plenty of towns around Buford that can give you that more rural feel, but also have a little bit of growth and expansion happening. So that growth and expansion, well, that's really going to be anywhere you look these days, anywhere north of Atlanta. With all of this growth comes traffic. So if that classifies as a reason not to move, then you're going to want to scratch Buford off your list. Now, I wouldn't consider this a reason not to move here, but it is something, that surprises some people. So I did want to mention it. Many people have this idea of Georgia that everyone here is the same race, religion, income bracket, political affiliation, and that's simply not true. Buford is a great melting pot of all of these different things. Now, there may be some smaller towns around the state that might fit into that mold of the stereotype, look in South Georgia, but that won't be the case in Buford or in any of the towns surrounding it, especially the closer that you get to Atlanta. So what do you think? Would any of these things keep you from buying a home in Buford? If you're still interested in learning more about this town, check out these other great videos on my channels that talk about the best neighborhoods in Buford, cost of living, pros and cons, the list goes on and on.